Hello there and welcome to Cannonball Diva Chronicles, where uplifting the downtrodden is our focus. Today I'd like to talk about something a little bit different. It has to do with promotion of health and well-being in people above the age of 40 especially. The reason I'm focusing on that age group is because most of the people who I've spoken to who are above the age of 40 experience more stress in the workplace or even in relationships, because most people who have experienced toxic relationships, for example, usually have gotten probably married at the age of in their 20s or in their 30s, and by their 40s they're getting to a point where they're thinking about leaving the relationship or the workplace relationship or even personal relationships with their loved ones in their family, be it sister, brother, spouse, or boss. At that point in our lives, we're thinking about making drastic changes, and that is why promotion of health and well-being is of paramount importance at this age. I'd like to talk about some of the healthcare regimens that we can take part in or practice that can bring in more joy into our lives, that can bring in natural hormones that can help us get by day to day without feeling the onslaught of the stress. Because stressors are killers. When we leave the stress and do nothing about it and just continually practice activities that bring stress into our lives without doing something in return to abate the stress, to reduce the stress, then at some point it's going to take its toll on our health. And this can lead to early demise or many healthcare complications down the line, especially after the age of 60. You notice that many people start to succumb to their ill health and they get into a situation where they're experiencing chronic diseases like dementia, which is a condition that has to do with the progressive decline of mental health in the elderly. And some people also experience other types of mental health illnesses. Like, you find out that a lot of people who are in the nursing homes have experienced so many attacks to their health and well-being, mostly mental health, that have caused them to age prematurely, because stress can lead us to become more prone to diseases. And many of these diseases don't even have to do with mental health. Some of them have to do with more like a heart disease, cardiac health, and also neurological health as a whole can be affected. And we as people have to start taking steps to stop this or to reduce the risk of being put in situations where our health is compromised. Today I'm going to show you some of the exercise regimens that I take part in when I go to the gym. Ordinarily, I take part in activities in the gym at least 4 times a week. I don't focus on the time or the hours spent in the gym. Most times I just try to at least go there, even if it's for 10 to 15 minutes if I don't have time, because many times on my way to work I rush into the gym. I only have like 20 minutes to spare, and I exercise as much as I can. Usually at that time I focus on cardio or aerobic exercises that would increase my heart rate. And at the end of the day I find that I sweat, and releasing that sweat also releases some tension in you, as well as some serotonin, which is called the happiness hormone. And most times I find that when I feel down and when I don't want to actually exercise, because when you're down you don't really feel like doing much, but if you force yourself to get up out of that mental funk or that condition, that physical or mental stress that you're going through, if you force yourself out of it and just manage to get up and go to the gym, or even just go for a short walk or anything to do with activity, it gets you out of that funk, it gets you out of that feeling of being so down. Activity in itself is a promoter of health. It's a promoter of the mental health, because staying in one place and not moving because you're sad or depressed can actually compound your mental health condition by making it worse in the long term. So getting up actually and going to the gym, sweating a little bit, or going for a brisk walk, or doing something that will get your heart rate up, and just doing something generally outside of your normal day-to-day stressors, like being at work or being at home and going through that same rigorous routine every day. It gives you a time away, which I call my me time. That me time could be 15 minutes, like I said, it could be 20 minutes, it could be an hour, it could be even more if I have a day off, which I try to have at least 2 days off during the week to take care of me, just to take care of that everyday activities that you would normally find that takes most of your time. You can put that aside and just focus on not just your health, but general things around your life as well. You can use that time for your, which I do. I use that time for taking care of the groceries for the week, taking care of the cleaning of the house, taking care of decluttering my area, my general area, my room, or areas that I find are getting maybe away from the general aesthetic appeal that I like to have in my environment. And I've heard it being said in the past that when your mind is already cluttered with so much mental stress, it is very helpful to clean your general area where you live. That room, that place you spend most of your time, you might want to start with that area. Just decluttering that area and cleaning it up can also declutter your mind and your mental stress as well. So that is also a pointer for you to take home. For those of you who have areas, or your car, that's a big one. Your car might be cluttered, filled with junk. Declutter your car, declutter your home, declutter your mind at the same time, because a clean home is actually related to how clean your mind is as well. A good practice to start, if you haven't started already, which I have always taken part in, is something as simple as making your bed in the morning or whenever you wake up. Because even before I heard it being said online, I heard it was an army sergeant was speaking to his groupies, and he was telling them about the importance of making your bed in the morning. Actually having that routine at the beginning of the day, making your bed, it gets you ready for a clean slate and gets you ready for, that day to start at a very good pace. Because that saying that says you woke up at the wrong side of your bed. You don't want to wake up at the wrong side of your bed by leaving your bed so untidy and coming back home to a very untidy and bed and environment as well. That does not help our mental health. It's very important to take care of our physical health as well. Aerobics, like I mentioned, is very important. If you can't go to the gym, if you don't have the time, you can also have something at home as good as stress. You have the stress tension bars. You have little things you can buy from the store like Walmart, and just take it to your home. Start little by little. If you don't want to actually take the time to go to the gym, which I find many people do not really have the time for. And even before I started going to the gym over 20 years ago, I was like not really motivated to go a lot. I would rather just stay home. And even though I planned to go at the beginning of the day, by the middle of the day I changed my mind and I find something more entertaining to do. And I found out that I was gaining weight rapidly. So it's very, very important to incorporate exercise routines into our daily activities. That will improve our cardiac health, because when our cardiac health is compromised by eating most of the things that you find that is in the grocery store nowadays, the meat, the fish, and even the vegetables sometimes have been modified in some way by either using the fertilizer to grow our crops, or using a GMO modified applications while making this or rearing these animals that become our protein at the end of the day. So it's very important to actually take the time to research what is good and what is healthy for us to eat, especially in the Western world. People in third world countries, so to speak, like Africa. I just came back from Nigeria. I know the meat tasted better, the protein that I ate tasted better. Most of these farmers do not incorporate fertilizer in growing their goats or their cows and their beef. They use natural means of just putting them out to graze and without including anything else. And as simple as that is healthier, because they're organic at the end of the day, and they eat organic vegetables most of the time as well, which is better for us. So most people that travel to Africa will tell you when they come back, they look fresher, they look more vibrant, their skin is glowing, aside from the sun's rays and everything else that it has to do with it. The stressors that we experience in Africa are different from those that we experience in the Western world. There are two different types of stresses. Here we have everything else, security and food, it comes in surplus, but in Africa sometimes security might be compromised, or you can have also the food might looking at it, even in this part of the world, looking at it, it might not look as fresh, but it's actually at the end of the day, when cooked properly, healthier, because they are most times organic in nature. I like to exercise because I read somewhere during my research that exercise is actually a catalyst that kind of come as you exercise, it becomes the catalyst for everything else to work properly. It's like a beginning of, everything else just turning around, like for your good at the end of the day. Like the Bible says, all things work together for our good because we love God and because we're called according to his purpose. Another thing that helps is putting it maybe at the beginning of the day to start off your day, so that the whole day just kind of flows, because exercising gives you that extra energy and strength to have the strength to go to work, have the motivation to do all that you have ahead of you, your plans, your goals that you have set before you, seems to just fall more into place when you're prepared, not just mentally but also physically. So being physically fit at the end of the day helps us achieve more in the long term. That is why I love exercising. Aside from the physical appearance that you eventually have with I guess exercising regularly, it's the main and the primary reason I exercise. And I think one of the most important benefits is your psychological health and what actually is happening within yourself, the internal health that you're getting and the well-being that comes from regular exercising. So it's better to be consistent while exercising as opposed to being motivated. You might be motivated today and tomorrow you might not be motivated. But when you're consistent, consistency is more important while exercising, because motivation is good, but motivation can carry you the long run or the long way while you're exercising. Because if you have made up your mind to start an exercise regimen and you're motivated one day, the next day you might not be, and then you might decide not to go. But being consistent and sticking to it is more important than that motivation. That can be once in a while. So exercising, like I mentioned, is a catalyst for everything else to just flow for your day, in your day. I will show you a short video of what I did today while I was in the gym, and also the food that I made. It's something as simple as a chicken stir fry. I use chicken breasts and it just like try to use oils that are not, don't have a lot of calories and can cause you to have a lot of cholesterol increasing in your bloodstream. So I like to use either grapeseed oil is good. I also like to use avocado oil, which is what I use, and I also showed it in the video. It maintains its nutritional value under intense heat, and it says so on the bottle. It's a little bit more pricey, but I believe, like I said, organic food is more pricey, but it's better for you. So in the same way, pick the oils you use for your food if you do decide to use oils for your food properly, because some of these oils are very cheap. You have canola oils, you have all kinds of vegetable oils, but when you read the container, you see all sorts of things that I can't even pronounce that have been added into them that are not really good for us as people to eat or to ingest. So that is it. So when you as a person are going about your daily activities, please keep in mind that you need to also talk to your doctor. For those of you who might have already cardiac conditions, don't just start an exercise regimen vigorously without first talking to your doctor, because then many people have collapsed in the gym and they haven't been able to resuscitate them because they already had compromised cardiac health before they started. Talk to your doctor and do a complete physical health physical assessment to ascertain how far or how much you can do as a person before starting, because starting with so vigorously without having that health background is not the best. It's not the best. That is why you hear of some people collapsing while even running, taking part in exercise activities. Some of them already had some undisclosed health complications that they didn't even know about. That is why it's good to go to the doctor first and be sure of what you're doing before you actually start any kind of exercise regimen. I'll show you the exercise activities I took part in this morning. I was off and I had the time to spend about an hour in the gym, and I came back and I made this delicious chicken stir fry, which I'll also show you in this video. Please watch. forgot to mention that I spent about 10 minutes in the hot, dry sauna after I was done with my aerobic exercises and the weight lifting the gym today. It was so refreshing. I know it was really hot in there. I put it up to about 80 degrees, and that's why I only stayed for 10 minutes, because it does get to be a lot after you spend about 10 to 15 minutes in there. Sweated a lot, my pores were open, and I gave myself a nice scrub thereafter, which also improves glowing skin. Right now I don't have any makeup except my lipstick, which I find is a plus for me. You know, when you take care of your health, it shows on your skin. When you take care of your health, your physical health, and when you sweat while doing aerobics, it opens your pores and allows a lot of impurities to fall out with the sweat, and that just makes your skin glow a little bit more, which is a major plus, because I really hate putting makeup. It's so time consuming for me when I do decide to stand in front of my bathroom mirror to put on makeup, and I'm so glad I don't have to do that now. All I have to do is just put a little bit of lipstick just to brighten my face, and even when I don't, I put some lip balm, and that's enough. So like all the benefits of physical activity, I could stand here and just keep listing them one after the other, but I'd rather you go out there and try and see for yourself, because they say the taste of the food is in the eating. So please try it, and please let me know if you have any comments. I thank you so much for tuning into Cannonball Diva Chronicles, and I hope that you like and subscribe. Have a blessed day.
Sounds right.